Okay, will their online friendly match Xbox Live? I don't know. Well, like I said, this is right after I recorded and saved the Nintendo press conference response. So, do the math for the time. um, so we're gonna do this now. This is Sony's press conference, and the reason for the title about "Can they match Xbox Live" was because, to me, it looked like the majority of it was about online play. That seemed to be a lot. They did a lot of addition. They made a lot of additions to PlayStation Network, which almost make it exactly like Xbox Live. So a lot of the features are exactly the same as Xbox Live now. So will those additions work out or not? We will see whenever they're released. So Sony press conference had the same guy from last year. I forget his name. So they started off with their one and only demo of the conference. Yeah, that's probably the most disappointing thing about the Sony press conference, that they had one demo. Everything else was just trailers. However, I still enjoyed it a bit more than Nintendo, because Nintendo was just plain disappointing. But Resistance 2 started off, you ever gun stuff. The guy switches out a rocket launcher, and walking up to them is a giant monster that looked like he came out of Shadow of the Colossus. And that's how big he is. He's Shadow of the Colossus sized, if not bigger than that. So obviously he's pretty fearsome, and everything looks very, very cinematic. The graphics are top notch. The detail in the monster is just amazing. He grabs you. You shoot a couple missiles at him, they don't do anything. He grabs you, he opens his mouth as if to eat you. Take a rocket launcher, fire a rocket down his throat. He drops you on a building, you run down the building, go upstairs, run across a little bridge as he grabs the bridge and tries to wreck it. Very cinematic. And it ends with him chucking you about a few hundred feet through a bridge, through the windows of a bridge filled with nukes. And you land on a building several hundred yards away, which has to be painful. And then the demo ends, which I thought it looked amazing. Then they had Sony did their traditional thing of talking numbers. They use numbers a lot, and they actually made a demo. Okay, when I said that the only demo was Resistance 2, it's kind of a lie, kind of not. Because technically, when they were talking about the numbers and stuff, how much money and how many units sold, that's basically the demo itself, because they're pushing Little Big Planet, right? That's one of their next big games. Well, their even Nintendo, they did something I would expect from Nintendo. Nintendo just did a little PowerPoint with pie charts and bar graphs. Sony used Little Big Planet. Like, an example, the little sack man walks to a room. He jumps on a platform. The platform, on the little switch on the floor. Then outside the screen, a PS3 connected by chains to the ceiling swings in, and the number of units sold is on the PS3. As it swings in, it hits a rock. The rock goes over, lands on another switch, which causes a PSP to fall from the ceiling, again with numbers on it. And you walk over to another switch, which causes a PS2, which makes a platform rise up with a PS2 on it, number of units sold. And it was a very interesting way. It made looking at numbers interesting. So good job, Sony, with that. Good job. Then they did some more stuff about PS2, saying that they have about 130 titles coming, which I personally don't see how they could have that many coming for PS2. But basically, they showed a little thing with a little video with clips from all the PS2 games come out this year, and the biggest ones I saw were all the EA Sports titles, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Yakuza 2, Lego Batman, and there are many others, but they just really didn't look that interesting. They announced a new bundle for $150 you get PS2, Lego Batman, and a DVD of this Justice League movie. So yeah, and then they got into what I thought was the main point of the conference with PlayStation Network. Talked about how they're doing all these additions to it, and they're almost redoing all the PlayStation Store, and how they're releasing more games on it, similar to Xbox Live Arcade or WiiWare. And what they're doing is Insomniac actually is releasing the sequel to Ratchet & Clank Future for $15 on PlayStation Network. So if you like Ratchet and Clank Future, in a few months, check the PlayStation Network store and you'll be able to buy Ratchet and Clank Future. I forget the name, and for $15 on PlayStation Network, which is a good thing. It's a good idea, similar to how Square Enix did Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: My Life as a King on WiiWare. Then they talked about Gran Turismo, how they had one of the more interesting, which I personally wouldn't care about at all, addition to PlayStation Network called Gran Turismo TV, which basically you watch TV shows about cars. There's a thing like all about Ferrari and all the different races and stuff. And if you like cars and stock cars and racing and stuff, then check it out. I do not, and if I did, I don't have a PS3 anyway. So then they talked about home. How said that when home comes, your patience will be paid off, which it's been delayed several times. So I don't know. They're gonna have several rooms, like a room dedicated to Warhawk, room dedicated to Uncharted, room dedicated to Resistance. Which, if you go in those rooms, you can start a game right away. Just hop into a game if you go into one of those rooms in home. So then they offered a thing similar to what Xbox Live's already doing with you can download TV shows and movies. However, one thing that I would like, that I'm a little ticked off at Microsoft, Speak, is that they're also doing, they mainly showed off the movies and stuff, how they have all these different movie studios, obviously including Sony Pictures and etc. And they also got Funimation, meaning if I had a PS3, I could be watching my freaking Haruhi on it. Dang it. Yeah, if you didn't know, I like anime, so what you gonna do? And another cool thing about it, you can actually, when you download a movie or TV show, you can actually take it from your PS3 and put it onto your PSP. So let's rent all your favorite movies, download all your favorite movies, put them on your PSP, go on a road trip or something. You're all set. And then they got to the PSP and they announced their big PSP title, which is Resistance. This was their big announcement for PSP. I personally, I'm laughing at it. For first-person shooters, you need dual analog sticks control. I mean, how are they gonna do an action-packed shooter like that with one analog stick? I don't see how they could do it. So I don't know. Do your best, Sony. Good luck. Then they're talking about Sony Online, how the Sony Online Entertainment is one of the best online programs or something, online networks there is. And then they run this one artist for DC Comics, and they announced a DC MMO. It's an MMO set in the DC universe. It can be Superman, it can be Joker, it can be Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, whoever you want, and a big MMO. Yeah. Then we got to the end of the show and they released 3 big trailers. Which one of the trailers I thought they could have made a demo out of. The other trailer I didn't really see it entertaining about. They just announced it. But the first trailer was one of the biggest rumors about the conference. Is yes, God of War 3 is coming for PS3. Which the trailer all it did is have a disembodied voice, do a monologue while the camera's going through this Earth, and Earth is falling apart. There's big chasms everywhere, and mountains are crumbling. Go to the top of Mount Olympus, and you see Kratos standing on top of Mount Olympus, and he just goes, "I fight for the chaos," or something like that. He wants the chaos to continue, and that's it. So the guy just announced it, but they decided to make a little trailer, which I guess made some people happy. Next, they did a trailer of Infamous, which looks exactly similar to what we've all seen. And then it was a trailer for a new game called Mag, which is a game which will have up to 256 players online in one battle, and all the players are grouped into 8-man squads. And the best player of each squad is the squad leader, and there will be and it's going to be an action-packed shooter, as action-packed as any other shooter, except every single enemy and play is controlled by a human. So that's gonna be a feat if Sony can pull that off with online with up to 256 players online at once, all groups into squads, and it has potential. But they didn't really release much of it. That was one of their big secrets. But yeah, end of the E3 press conference. End of my coverage. My opinions. Personally, Microsoft did the best job in press conferences. I had to say they had a load of demos, a load of hardcore demos like Gears, Fallout, Fable. They had a bunch of casual games, and like I said, lots of demos. Sony did next with they had some demos and a lot of online upgrades that very needed. But Nintendo did the worst with their most hardcore game being Animal Crossing. So yeah, my coverage of E3, my opinions, my coverage. So watch or whatever. Bye.